5 breads that lower blood sugar, fast, and fight diabetes. My friends, we all know breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But there's one scary truth. 95% of people with diabetes are still starting their mornings with a mistake without even realizing it. Most of us think that eating a light, low-fat, not-so-sweet slice of bread is harmless. But here's the problem. Those innocent-looking slices can make your blood sugar skyrocket within minutes, leaving you tired and sluggish all day without knowing why. Even worse, when this happens morning after morning, our pancreas is forced to fight nonstop, trying to handle all that sugar until one day, it just can't keep up anymore. But don't worry, not all bread is the enemy. Scientists have found that there are exactly 5 special types of bread that not only don't spike your blood sugar, but actually help stabilize insulin and naturally lower your HbA1c. That means we can still enjoy bread in the morning as long as we choose the right kind. So if you're still eating white bread sweet rolls or ham sandwiches, maybe it's time to rethink that habit, because that one slice could be slowly pushing you closer to dangerous complications without you even noticing. In this video, we're going to discover the 5 safest and healthiest breads for diabetics. Smart choices that let us enjoy our meals and keep our blood sugar under control gently and consistently. But wait, before we dive into the list, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss a health tip made especially for you. And hey, if you like this video, type yes in the comments. If not, type no so I know how to make better content for you. All right, let's start with bread number 1. 1. Whole grain bread, 100% whole wheat bread. This is the type of bread that nutrition experts consistently rank as the safest choice for people with diabetes. And there's a good reason for that. Unlike white bread, which has had almost all of its nutrients stripped away, whole grain bread keeps all 3 parts of the wheat grain: the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. That may sound a bit scientific, but let's put it simply. You're eating the whole grain, the outer shell, and the heart of the wheat, not just the empty white powder left over. The biggest benefit lies in the high amount of fiber found in the bran. Fiber works like a natural filter, slowing down how fast sugar gets absorbed into the bloodstream. That means your blood sugar can't just spike up right after eating like it does with white bread. As a result, we don't get that sudden crash no more, feeling tired, sleepy, or craving snacks right after breakfast. Many studies even show that eating whole grain bread regularly can improve insulin sensitivity and help lower HbA1c levels over time. However, there's one very important warning. Just because a package says wheat bread or multigrain bread doesn't mean it's good for us. A lot of brands use those words just to sound healthy. But when you check the ingredient list, the first ingredient is still enriched flour, which is basically the same refined flour used in white bread with just a tiny bit of whole grain mixed in to make it look darker. Those breads are not much better than white bread at all. So here's the golden rule when buying whole grain bread. Look for the exact words 100% whole grain or 100% whole wheat. In the ingredient list, whole grain or whole wheat flour must be listed first. And make sure there is little to no added sugar. It may take an extra minute to read the label, but choosing the right whole grain bread can take a huge burden off your pancreas every single day. The good news is you can easily find real whole grain bread at Walmart, Costco, Trader Joe's, and many even have low sodium versions made especially for older adults. If you're still watching and you find this helpful, go ahead and type number 1 in the comments so I know you're with me. Now let's move on to bread number 2. 2. Sprouted grain bread. If whole grain bread is already a good choice, then sprouted grain bread is like taking things one step further, especially for those of us who want to manage blood sugar in a smarter way. Why? Because this type of bread doesn't just use the whole grain. It uses grains that have been brought to life before baking. Yes, the grains are soaked until they wake up and start sprouting before they're ground and made into bread. It may sound like a small difference, but that sprouting process changes everything. When a grain begins to sprout, its natural enzymes activate, breaking down some of the hard-to-digest starches while increasing protein and fiber. That means the carbs in sprouted grain bread are absorbed much more slowly, helping keep our blood sugar steady, Far better than white bread and even better than some regular whole grain breads. But that's not all. Sprouting also boosts vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, supporting our heart digestion and immune system. That's why so many doctors in the US recommend sprouted bread to people with diabetes who still want to enjoy toast in the morning without worrying about blood sugar spikes. One of the most famous brands in America is Ezekiel 49. It's practically a celebrity in the world of healthy breads. Their loaves are made from a mix of sprouted grains and legumes like wheat millet, barley, lentils, and soybeans with zero refined flour and absolutely no added sugar. When you read the ingredients, you won't even see the word sugar anywhere. And that's important because a lot of so-called whole grain breads sneak in sugar for taste, which is exactly what triggers those blood sugar spikes we're trying to avoid. In terms of taste, sprouted bread can feel a little denser and heartier than regular bread, but toast it lightly and pair it with unsweetened almond butter, peanut butter, or a boiled egg, and suddenly it becomes not only delicious, but also satisfying and long-lasting without that mid-morning energy crash. So if you're looking for a bread that is clean, wholesome, and truly friendly to your blood sugar, sprouted grain, bread is one of the best choices you can make. You can easily find it at Whole Foods, Walmart, or even in the freezer section of many local grocery stores. Choose wisely and your pancreas will thank you. 3. Rye bread. If you've ever noticed people in Northern European countries like Finland, Sweden, or Germany where obesity and diabetes rates are much lower than in the US, they almost never eat white bread like we do. Instead, their daily go-to bread is rye bread. And it's not a coincidence that many researchers call this the smart diabetics bread. Unlike white flour, which spikes your blood sugar super fast, rye contains a much higher amount of soluble fiber. This fiber works like a shield, slowing down how fast sugar gets absorbed into your bloodstream, so your blood sugar doesn't shoot up right after eating like it would with regular bread. Many people say that when they eat rye bread in the morning, their blood sugar stays steady for hours. No fatigue, no shaky hands, no sudden drowsiness. Another great benefit is that rye bread keeps you full for much longer. This is extremely important for diabetics because when your blood sugar drops, your body starts craving something sweet, and that's when mistakes happen. But with rye bread, thanks to its high soluble fiber content, those cravings are kept under control. You naturally eat more consistently without even trying. There's even a real-life story that many doctors like to share. A type 2 diabetic patient said that simply switching from white bread to rye bread lowered his post-meal blood sugar from 180 down to around 130 mg/dl without changing anything else in his meal. The only thing he changed was the bread. However, just like with any bread, you have to choose the right kind. Look for 100% rye or whole grain rye. A lot of breads say rye on the label, but in reality, they only add a tiny bit of rye flour for color, while the main ingredient is still white flour. So when you buy it, read the ingredients carefully and choose the ones that are darker, denser, and heavier than regular bread. That's the real rye bread. Once you get used to its rich, slightly intense flavor, you'll realize it's not only good for your blood sugar, but it actually tastes amazing with boiled eggs, low-fat cheese, or a little unsweetened peanut butter. Filling, healthy, and safe, that's exactly why rye bread deserves a place in every diabetic's breakfast. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, drop a number 1 in the comments so I know you're here. Now let's move on to bread number 4. 4. Oat bread. If you've ever had oatmeal in the morning to lower blood sugar or reduce cholesterol, then you already know why oat bread is on the golden foods list for people with diabetes. Oats are known for being gentle on the stomach, easy to digest, and very safe. But what really makes them special compared to other grains is a powerful type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan. Beta-glucan acts like a natural shield in your digestive system. Once you eat it, it forms a soft gel that coats your food and slows down how quickly sugar enters the bloodstream. This means your blood sugar doesn't spike right after eating. Not only that, beta-glucan also lowers bad cholesterol and supports heart health, which is something most diabetics really need. But let's be honest, not everyone enjoys eating oatmeal every morning. That's why oat bread is such a great alternative. It keeps all the benefits of oats, but it's easier to pair with other foods and fits better with everyday taste preferences. Just one slice of toasted oat bread with some unsweetened peanut butter or a few slices of ripe banana, and you've got a breakfast that's not only delicious, but also pancreas friendly. However, just like with all breads, you have to pick the right kind. Look for oat bread made from whole oats or whole grain oats. A lot of brands these days sprinkle a few oats on top of the loaf and call it oat bread, but the main ingredient is still white flour. Those kinds only look healthy. They don't actually help your blood sugar. So when buying oat bread, remember, the first ingredient should be oat flour or whole grain oats. It should have little to no added sugar or corn syrup. When you slice it, it should be light, brown, soft, but dense, not fluffy, white like regular bread. Once you find the real deal, oat bread can become your reliable morning companion. It's gentle, satisfying, keeps you full, longer reduces sugar cravings, and most importantly, helps keep your blood sugar steady without stress. 5. Sourdough bread. It might sound a little surprising, but sourdough bread is actually a silent hero for anyone trying to control their blood sugar. We all know that most regular white breads make your blood sugar spike within minutes of eating them. But sourdough works differently. It doesn't behave like normal bread. The magic lies in its slow, natural fermentation process. When the flour is fermented using beneficial bacteria like lactobacillus, the carbohydrates inside the dough actually change in structure. So even if sourdough is made from white flour, it causes sugar to be absorbed much more slowly, helping you avoid those sudden blood sugar spikes, which are every diabetic's worst nightmare. Studies have shown that sourdough has a significantly lower glycemic index compared to regular bread. To put it simply, eating a slice of white bread is like dumping a whole spoonful of sugar straight into your bloodstream. But eating sourdough is more like slowly dripping it in calm, controlled, and predictable. However, and this part is important, not every loaf labeled sourdough is the real deal. Some companies just add vinegar or artificial sour flavor to make it taste tangy, but they skip the natural fermentation process entirely. That means no real benefits for your blood sugar. So when shopping, look for whole grain sourdough or 100% naturally fermented sourdough. When you combine natural fiber from whole grains and gut-friendly bacteria from fermentation, that's a gift to both your digestive system and your blood sugar. And if possible, try swapping your usual white toast or sweet pastries for sourdough in the morning. Pair it with nut butter, eggs, or some veggies, and you'll have a breakfast that not only tastes amazing, but keeps your blood sugar steady for hours. No more post-breakfast fatigue, dizziness, or sugar crashes. Sourdough isn't just another bread. It's the result of time, patience, and friendly bacteria quietly working for your health. And sometimes it's the simplest foods like this that our bodies appreciate the most. Now, I want to hear from you. Take a moment. What's one thing you learned today that you're planning to apply? Which bread would you choose? Drop it in the comments below. And to wrap this section up properly, we need to talk about something very important. Just because a bread claims to be good for diabetics doesn't mean you can eat it freely. A lot of people pick the right kind of bread, but eat it the wrong way, and their blood sugar still shoots up like crazy. So when choosing bread, read the label like you're investigating a crime scene. The fiber content and added sugar are your two most important pieces of evidence. A truly healthy slice of bread should have at least 3 grams of fiber and no more than 3 grams of added sugar. If it goes beyond that, even if the package says healthy, organic, or diabetic friendly, it's just a wolf in sheep's clothing. Also, stay away from breads with enriched flour, refined flour, or any kind of bleached wheat flour listed at the top of the ingredients. Those fancy sounding names are just another way of saying white bread, which makes your blood sugar spike like a bullet train. And one more thing, sweetbreads are never our friends. Whether it's honey bread, raisin bread, glazed rolls, or anything that makes you say, wow, this tastes too good. It's almost guaranteed to be packed with hidden sugar. One slice may seem harmless, but your body will react instantly. Finally, portion size is the golden key. Even the healthiest bread in the world won't act like medicine if you eat too much of it at once. Everyone has a different carb tolerance. So if you're on a strict diet or managing blood sugar closely, talk to your doctor or nutritionist to know whether one slice or two is right for your meal. Choosing the right bread is one thing, but eating it the right way is what truly determines whether your blood sugar stays stable. Apply these tips daily and your meals will no longer be something to fear. They'll become part of your healing journey. And now, this is the most important moment. Starting tomorrow before putting any slice of bread in your mouth, let's pause for just 3 seconds and ask ourselves, is this slice helping my blood sugar stay stable or silently pushing it higher? The answer lies in our choices. We can keep eating the way we always have, choosing what tastes good in the moment, only to feel tired, dizzy, or constantly thirsty afterward because our blood sugar keeps spiking and crashing. Or we can get smarter with just one small change, switching to bread that actually supports our health. It sounds simple, but sometimes one decision each morning can save us from medication, prevent complications, and help us live lighter every single day. No one else can do this for us. Doctors can give advice, family can worry for us, but we are the ones who lift that slice of bread and put it into our mouth. So if you want me to make another video showing how to read bread labels the right way, how to spot fake whole grain bread, or even recommend the best bread, brands you can buy at the supermarket, just leave a comment with exactly 2 words. I want. That's it. And I'll know you're truly ready to take control of your blood sugar in a smarter, more proactive way. And don't forget to subscribe to Strong Health Way, because here every video is like a natural remedy, helping us get healthier without relying on medication. Together we can live stronger, live smarter, all from choosing the right slice of bread each day.